Well, hello there, all you absolutely magnificent people, and welcome back to another episode of An Ecologist Plays, where we talk about nature while playing games. My name is Will, I'm an ecologist by training, and this is Empires of the Undergrowth. Now, we have just completed the last story mission, which means today we are going to go with one of the extra levels, and we are going to be playing Hibernation. So this is a very interesting level. You're playing as the wood ants, and you are trying to get ready for winter. So we are just going to play on medium difficulty as always. Of course, if you've got any questions about nature or the ants or whatever you have, please do pop it down in the comments below. Also suggestions for what mission to play next. Alright, without any further ado, let's jump right in, shall we? And here we are.
Alpine mountain ranges seem an unlikely place for ants to survive. And yet many wood ant colonies live here. A poor summer has left this small wood ant colony lacking in numbers. And food is dwindling.
Okay.
With aphids dying off as conditions worsen, this colony needs to gather food whilst it's still able.
Yes. Alright, so this is a difficult time for the ants. I mean, if you're looking at it, and we're going to see it in a moment, we are one nest, but there are rival colonies nearby. We are just going to plop down first our food storage over here, and then we're going to go collect some food quickly. Alright, and here we are. A few seeds right next to our nest here, nest entrance. Makes it nice and easy, but you'll see.
There are nearby rival wood ant colonies that are all members of the same supercolony. The supercolony is made up of many separate wood ant colonies that miraculously are working together. In contrast, this queen has no backup. And her soldiers will need to contest resources alone.
This is very interesting. We have got a newish colony that has established. I mean, the queen had just started. This is not a great time to start, right? Or start a new colony right before the winter months come along. But she has. She has started a new colony, and now she is battling to get enough food, or the colony at least is battling to get enough food to actually come and survive the winter. And not only that, we also have to start collecting wood, and you'll see that again as well in a moment. We're just getting some more workers here, and we're also going to start with our soldiers. Now, super colonies like these ones are forming are very interesting. I mean, there are very few species that will do this. Many species, yes, they will establish sister colonies nearby, and they will function, you know, quite nice. They won't raid one another, they won't fight with one another, but super colonies are found only in a few species. The yellow crazy ant, for example, will form that, and they're very invasive. You'll have the Argentine ant, they also form that. They're also highly invasive. Many of the very invasive species, or ant species, can actually... Oh, our food storage is actually full. Many of the invasive species can actually form super colonies. Okay, so we're just going to, I think, expand a little bit more in terms of our food storage. And also upgrade the ones we have. And that should be enough then to see us through the winter. Because we also have to start collecting wood. Okay, now before we start collecting wood, let's just get some soldiers so that we can clear this area so that we can put our wood there. Okay, no more food there, unfortunately. We can get some down here, but this is potentially going to be a bit more of a risky endeavor. Because these wood ants, these super colonies may also come and walk over to this side in a moment. So let's see. There's also a devil's coach horse beetle. You know what? Soldiers, come and clear the area for us, please. Oh, there is a devil's coach horse beetle already attacking our lines here, our workers, unfortunately. Okay, carry him back to the nest, thank you. Okay, luckily here comes our rapid fire wood ants, of course spraying formic acid at the enemies there. Okay, everybody come and collect some food.
The situation may be bad, but it's no longer this colony's main concern. As the temperature drops outside and the harsh winter sets in, the ants must gather and fill their nest with vegetation, which radiates heat as it decays.
So this breaking down of plant matter to release heat is something that birds very often will use. Well, I say very often, some birds will utilize to their advantage when they are incubating their eggs. There are some, for example, Australian groundfowl will, for example, do that. Some of the megapodes, they will do that. They actually create these mounds, and then they lay their eggs in the mound, and as the vegetation on top of the mound decomposes, it's like a compost mound, it results in heat being released, and that then incubates the eggs because it's nice and warm. Not too toasty, you don't want to accidentally bake your eggs, but it does work very well for that. Okay, now we are going to plop down some tiles to put vegetation. And then we are going to just get our ants away from this area, because something tells me there are going to be rival wood ants raiding us soon. We are just going to switch over to gathering plant matter. And the best is actually right over here by our nest. We're just going to abandon shame these two ants over here. These poor ants, they are just being abandoned. Our main wood ants, they're just coming to collect some wood over there. The wood ants are collecting wood. Now, as you can see on the top there, it does say we've got to have 525 vegetation stored when the winter is at its coldest. And you can see our temperature in the nest is warmer than the outside ambient temperature already. So that is marvelous. It means we are doing quite a good job. As you can see, the temperature, it's alright at the moment. We are heading into winter though. Winter is definitely coming. House Stark would be proud. And here we've got the rival colony coming in. We're just going to grab our things and run.
The temperature drops further. Surface conditions are now extremely inhospitable to the ants, seizing up their limbs and making foraging difficult. If the nights get much colder, ants venturing far from the nest are likely to freeze to death.
Yeah, so this is going to be a difficult time for our poor ants. Luckily, it seems at the moment the wood ants are still just trying to control the center of the map. You can see a nice pine cone. Just this thing has collapsed the ground here, really fallen with the force. The pine cones, of course, as some of the tissue dries out, the cone opens up, releasing the seeds that, of course, are lying all over the place here that we have also been collecting. Oh, and here come the ants again. We are just, running past them. I've switched off combat just so that our ants can just get back with the important stuff. Most of them, at least, can get back with the important stuff. Okay, we're going to grab a little bit more vegetation, and then we're going to switch over to food again. It's a balancing act. In nature, very often it is a balancing act. There we go. Oh, some more plants fallen down. Great stuff. Some plant fibers, really some fine dry needles. They would decompose. It's very fine. Fine material will break down more rapidly than coarse material. It's no point you take a big piece of pine cone and drag that back to your nest. That is going to take way too long to actually break down. But a fine little piece of needle will very, very easily break down, or more easily break down. Okay, we've got to see. I think the ants are away, so the mice will play. We're just going to come and collect some more food now. Ugh, it seems here they come again. They are really controlling this central part. This is a very, very annoying bunch of wood ants that they've got here. Okay, there are mortars, and we are the rapid fire, so let's see. Hopefully we can actually kill a whole bunch of them, just so that our workers can go past.
We must fight to run away.
Okay, we got some more food in the process. And the first snow is also falling, you can see here. There we go.
Heralding the coming doom. Access to vegetation is becoming even more scarce. The ants are running out of time.
We've got a bit of vegetation. Unfortunately, it's been a battle. Let's see whether we can actually come and grab up here. Hopefully, this colony up here is just not doing too well. They do seem to be running more to that side. So hopefully we can actually come in and steal some plant matter over here, because our nest temperature is also unfortunately dropping. Okay, we have successfully stolen some vegetation. Unfortunately, that one of ours is just going to die now. That's alright. Alright, now I'm just going to go into camera mode here, just so that time does not pass while I talk about this, because it is actually, for me, to me at least, very, very interesting. Now, here I am. We don't have severe cold in winter. We don't have snow falling on our ants' nests. So the ants are actually active throughout the winter. But here, of course, where these Formica rufas are, they are experiencing winter, and their nest is their main line of defense. Now, this is a smallish nest. Normally, of course, they form massive domes, and that dome consists of a lot of plant matter, some soil as well, but a lot of plant matter that is actively breaking down and is, of course, in the process of making compost. In essence, it is releasing heat, and that, of course, is what we are simulating here. But they're also in the middle of winter, and our ants right at the end of the mission would technically go into that in a state of facultative hibernation. In other words, it's not a true hibernation, they just take it easy. And they're doing as little as possible, as slowly as possible. And they will be spending most of their time in the nest. Of course, if the weather is actually mild, they do go out and they do go forage for food to replenish their larder. And that is important because, you may run out of food as time goes along. At least these guys, they can very quickly make use of perfect climatic conditions, a little gap in the weather to go and collect some plants or seeds or something along those lines. Now, they will also be able to tolerate temperatures of up to about 0 degrees. And most insects, a lot of insects, can actually handle cool temperatures. And that's because they have in their hemolymph, basically in their blood, but they don't have true blood, they've got hemolymph, the fluid in their body, they will have electrolytes. So electrolytes are not only what plants crave, it's also very important for insects like these ants over here. And that results in their freezing point actually being lowered. The point at which they actually do freeze is lower than you would expect. But if the temperature drops below -5 and they're exposed to that, they would die within a few hours. They don't last very long. So they slow down the activity as temperatures drop a bit, and then if it gets too cold, they would die if they were to be outside the nest. But they go into that facultative hibernation, allowing them to just chill in the nest, pardon the pun, and just relax a bit and just not worry too much about the life outside. Alright, so just want to quickly pause the game so that I could quickly talk about that. Alright, now, back to the frantic action. Okay, we've got a whole bunch of little devil's coach horse beetle larvae that were attacking us here. Oh, there's a big devil's coach horse beetle as well. We're just going to attack it as well because, of course, it is going to disrupt our line of workers. Stop attacking our workers, man. Oh, and now, of course, we've got the super colony coming in as well. Okay, run, forest. Run deeper into the forest. Okay, I do believe we collected quite a lot of plant matter there. That is quite nice. We're just going to come and let our soldiers stand over here. Okay, covering our retreat. Let's get some more food. Okay, lots of food we can harvest up here. May as well come and grab that. This nest is likely, it is still active.
The temperature outside is dropping. The ants must make haste and fill their nests with fresh vegetation before they are overcome by the harsh winter.
The thing is, it's pointless we try to get vegetation if we don't even have ants to, or food to replenish our numbers. And I will be honest, there are far better ways to do things than I have been doing it. I'll be the first to admit I am not the best Empires of the Undergrowth player, but it's a lot of fun to play this, even though I suck at it. Okay, I am just going to start digging out a little bit more to this side. I know I should technically leave this for later, but I am going to do this now, just so that I can get more food over here. So I would like to upgrade my soldiers a bit, because food is currently limiting, and I need to be able to defend myself against the wood ant super colony that is over here. Okay, now it is nice and calm calmish outside. We've got a lot of ants. I mean, look at that, sheesh. That is a typical super colony, moving as one, causing a lot of chaos. 3 sisters colonies together forming a super colony. Winter is definitely coming though, so we have to really get ready here in terms of our pine needle gathering. Okay, looks like we've got a bit of a respite. We can actually grab a bit more on this side. Hopefully a little bit, because there comes the marauding bunch again. They really remind me of the yellow crazy ant, the Anoplolepis gracilis, I think it is. Really, really crazy little ants. And I think they are heading back to me again. Let's just check them. No, they're moving back again. They're patrolling this section. Okay, perfect. So we've got a bit of a moment of respite to just not be attacked by these guys. I mean, look at that. Because they are so closely related, these guys do, or these girls actually do see one another as family. They don't see themselves as rivals of each other, or rival colonies for that matter. So they can actually coexist in a relatively small space. Which is really hectic. I mean, Luckily, few ant species actually do this. Most ant species are still very, very competitive with one another. So they wouldn't coexist in such huge numbers. So we very often, or I say very often, in many species, we've got multi-colonies or multicoloniality, meaning that there is the one species, the one colony, has a bunch of sister colonies in close proximity to one another. They do have some competition. This does not seem to be the case. This does seem to be a bit more of a super colony here. Super colonies, they're more closely related. They also are working together to get as many resources as possible. And it seems that, yes, Formica rufa is one of those, or at least in this Formica rufa complex, there are a few species that do form super colonies, up to hundreds of thousands of colonies working as one massive colony. And also there's also the pharaoh ant, the Monomorium pharoensis. That's also another species that forms super colonies. There's the Phaidole species, the big-headed ant, Phaidole megacephala. There's the Argentine ant I've mentioned as well. There's the yellow crazy ant. and there are a few others, the 2 of the fire ant species as well. The Solenopsis, they also will form, including the red imported fire ant, will form supercolonies. You can see there that some of the main invasive species of ants, the yellow crazy ant, Argentine ant, pig-headed ant, and red imported fire ant, they all form supercolonies. So that kind of gives them a competitive edge when it comes to establishing in a new environment. Oh, I shudder thinking of the ecological damage that they can do once they establish in an area. But I mean, I've seen firsthand what Argentine ants can do when they start establishing in a new area and start forming supercolonies. My word, they are extremely, extremely destructive. Okay, now we have just got enough vegetation at the moment as it stands, but we need more. We need more. But you can see here these guys, or these girls actually, all moving together as one. They are working as one colony. They're going to the aphids together. They are collecting everything they need together. I do suspect it's just some of the colonies left. I mean, this one is dead. I think this colony has wiped out. This one has fallen. But of course, these 2 ant colonies here remaining, yellow and blue, of course, as spring comes around again, they will be able to actually just recolonize this old nest. I do want to send in some of my ants in here to see what on earth is actually going on in this nest. I'm very, very curious. Of course, there is a devil's coach horse beetle attacking us as well. Oh, my word. Now, I just recently realized that I have actually seen not devil's coach horse beetles, but I have seen a relative thereof, a South African species that is in the rove beetle group. But I saw that a year ago. Oh, there is actually a colony here. Oh. Now, technically, the rest of the ants should be attacking us, but look, there is a queen. And the queen is just kind of hibernating at the moment. Okay. Well, now, maybe we can actually steal their food. Wouldn't that be marvelous? Wouldn't it be nice if we could steal it? Na 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 na. I'm having a lot of fun. Okay, let's see here. Okay, the queen is dead.
Surface temperatures have dropped so low that the ants must remain underground. If they prepared well enough, they may yet survive the harshest winter days.
Okay, but now unfortunately it seems like I cannot actually move my ants. My soldiers are now stuck. Okay, I can bring them out. Will you guys stop attacking? No? Okay. You are really, really determined, aren't you? Okay, so it seems we can't steal their food, unfortunately. That is unfortunate. Okay. The cold days are upon us. This means that we do have access to everything at the top here. The other 2 colonies, oh, are they hibernating? I think they're hibernating. There is still a yellow circle present on the map there and a blue circle. Oh, that may actually have been the case. These ones were just hibernating, going into the facultative hibernation. Okay. Now, we've got a lot of vegetation stored, so I think we're fine. You know, let's go inside. Let's go get nice and toasty. I think our ants are going to start dying now, because this is now the coldest month. We've got so much food stored, this should be fine.
The bleak midwinter is upon the colony. The ants wait, barely clinging to life as their only source of warmth slowly degrades.
Yes, okay. So what we are going to do now is try to get some food. I think let's get up here. I'm just going to clear this devil's coach horse beetle there, just get some extra food. Not sure whether I should have built more heat tiles, whether that would have helped to keep us a little bit higher, but we are alright, we are still above the skull. This top layer of vegetation that we also have, that is technically breaking down over the nest. So not only do we have vegetation in the nest, we actually technically have vegetation over the nest as well. That vegetation that is breaking down will insulate us against the cold outside as well. This is really, really close. I mean, I really thought our nest temperature would be higher than this because of all the vegetation we have got here. But I assume we may have needed more vegetation tiles, actually. Yo, this is going to be very, very close. But winter is almost past. And I think... there we go.
The warm sun has risen over the colony,
yes,
and the workers finally emerge from their nest. Even the queen can be seen warming herself in the sun.
Oh, there she is.
With the harshest days of winter behind them, these wood ants now have a chance to stake out their territorial claim in this contested woodland.
Yes. And you can see this mound of vegetation that is here. This is the start of this nest. So this little colony has endured the winter. I mean, look, it's a bleak, snowy landscape here, but we survived. And that was quite a lot of fun. All right. So next Tuesday, I'll of course have another mission. So do let me know in the comments below what you would like to see me do. Also have a Discord channel, also linked down below. Welcome to join that and also give some suggestions of what you would like to see me do. But on Friday, there's something else coming. I'll see you then. Until then, everybody, stay safe. I'll see you all soon. Cheers!